Okay, I'm just going to do a quick review on the Terminator Rebuildable Atomizer. Um, I got this from Stormy's Vapor Seller for $60. The large version is $65. I bought the small version, and then I went back and I bought another tank and a longer mouthpiece. The small version doesn't hold a lot of juice, probably around 2 mils. So if you're going to go with that, you're going to need to carry around a bottle of juice with you to fill it up, or at least I did. The larger version holds 6 or 7 mils, which is more than enough to get me through the day, so that's good. The first thing that you're going to notice is that it's heavy. It's made out of stainless steel, and the only parts that I believe are not stainless steel are the locking ring that holds your positive wire in place, and possibly the positive post. Um, with the locking ring, there is a little bit of wear on the knuckling that clearly shows that it's not stainless steel, probably some kind of brass. Whether that contains lead or not, I don't know. I haven't gone out and bought a test kit, and I'm just assuming that the post is not stainless steel, just by the weight of it. When I received it, the positive post was not overly tight in the coil assembly, so I would recommend taking it completely apart, including taking the ceramic out, the post off, cleaning everything, putting it back together as tight as you can. That will probably provide you with the best experience that you can. One thing that you'll definitely notice is that there is a huge gap right there, the way it sits on your device. And there's not a whole lot you can do about that, just because you have to screw the coil assembly in far enough to make a seal with the O-ring in there, and that leaves you with about a millimeter and a half of positive post sticking out. So if you don't have a device with a retractable uh, center pin, you're going to have a gap, but that will also give you airflow. You might be able to make that smaller by getting a thicker O-ring at Lowe's, Home Depot, etc. I haven't gone looking for one. This works for me. There are some issues with it, though, that I haven't really seen any of the reviewers talk about. Most of the reviews have been along the lines of it's a Chinese knockoff of the Odysseus, and it vapes well. Buy it if you want. But there are some issues with it. The root of the issue is that it the connection's crooked, and that creates an aesthetic problem, but it also creates the potential for it to leak. And when you get this, it will leak like a sieve from time to time when you put it together until you figure out the perfect way to put it together. The problem along those lines is I don't know whether the problem stems from the locking ring and the O-ring. When you put that on tight, the O-ring expands and it straightens out the mouthpiece, which is crooked because of the way it fits in and connects to the device. I don't know whether that just moves the mouthpiece over. There are play in the threads, so it could just allow juice to go through the threads and leaving your juice control more open than you really want it to be, which could cause leaks, or it could actually shift the entire unit inside and break the seal with the O-ring at the bottom and create a leak. I don't know which. I don't really have a way to tell, but those are the two things that I think are happening. And that's just Chinese manufacturing. Eventually that might be fixed, and there might be replacement bottom sections. They might just update it in a couple months, or it could just be one of those things where the manufacturer just sees it as it's good enough. So what that leads is when you put it together, you want to not crank this all the way down. You want it to be snug, but not as tight as humanly possible. Because like I said, you don't want that O-ring to expand and cause it to straighten out and create those leaking problems. Other than that, It's a great vape. Um, some people have issues with it because it's a straight knockoff of the Golden Greek Odysseus, but the way I see it, at the end of the day, what's available to me that's going to give me the best possible vape is what I want, and this falls into that category. It's Chinese made. There's a little bit of wonkiness to it. Good materials, good threading, um, but you really have to be careful when you put it together, or your juice is just going to come flowing out. Um, I think that's probably about it. Um, yeah, it's pretty good. Buy it. Don't expect perfection, but it's a good device.